All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to explore an idea that might just flip your entire understanding of reality on its head. What if the life you're living, the very world you see around you, is a game that you can actually learn to create? So, let's just kick things off with a wild question. What if your reality isn't actually real? And I don't mean that in some philosophical, metaphorical way. I mean literally. What if everything you see, hear, and feel is just a really, really convincing illusion? Let's take a look at the evidence. Okay, so where's the proof, right? Where do we even start looking for clues that our world is, well, constructed? The evidence actually starts with our own bodies. We put so much trust in our senses to give us an accurate picture of the world, but the truth is, they are incredibly limited. They don't just miss a few details, they don't even come close to showing us the whole picture.
Just 1%. Think about that. That's how much of the entire electromagnetic spectrum our eyes can see. We are completely blind to the radio waves, the microwaves, the X-rays that are zipping through us, and this room right this very second. We only see this tiny, tiny sliver of what's really out there.
And hey, it's not just our eyes that are holding out on us. Let's talk about hearing. Our range is kind of pathetic, honestly. We can't hear the super high-frequency ultrasounds that bats use to see in the dark. We can't pick up on the deep, low-frequency rumbles that elephants use to talk to each other from miles away. There are entire worlds of sound, entire conversations happening all around us that we're completely deaf to. So you see the pattern here, right? Our senses have these massive, massive blind spots. We can't smell deadly gases like carbon monoxide. We can't taste a lot of poisons. Right now, tons of tiny little particles called neutrinos are flying straight through your body, and you don't feel a thing. We can't see or touch dark matter, which scientists think makes up most of the entire universe. Our perception of reality is fundamentally incomplete. So, if our senses are only giving us these tiny little breadcrumbs of information, who or what is building the big picture, the rich, seamless 3D world we're all walking around in? Well, the architect is your own brain. It's taking these little bits of data and building an entire world from them. And this brings us to this incredible idea called constructed reality. Basically, the world you're experiencing right now, it isn't objective truth. It's more like a super high-def simulation that your brain is rendering for you in real time. Your brain is filling in all the gaps, making its best guesses, and presenting you with this coherent story that feels real, but it's a fabrication. This source material just puts it so perfectly. It says your brain, with limited information, constructs a world for you. We assume this world is real, but it is not. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't just some sci-fi idea. It's a neurological fact. We are literally living inside a model created by our own minds. To really get your head around this, it helps to use a few metaphors. They really help. First up, imagine you're a baby in the womb. To that baby, the womb is its entire universe. It has no clue that there's this massive, wide world just on the other side. Its reality feels totally complete, but from our perspective, it's incredibly limited. And, this isn't some new concept. This idea is ancient. Think about Plato's famous allegory of the cave. We're like those prisoners who have spent their entire lives staring at a wall, watching shadows dance. To them, the shadows are reality. They don't know anything else. They're mistaking a projection for the real thing. And of course, there's the one we all know, the most famous modern version of this idea. You are living in the Matrix, a convincing, all-encompassing simulation that feels completely real, but is ultimately a construct, one designed to keep your mind occupied until you're ready to wake up and see beyond it. Okay, so if we're all living inside this kind of biological matrix, the next logical question is mind-blowing. What's on the outside? What would a truer reality, a more complete reality actually look and feel like if we could just take off the blinders? The source we're looking at suggests something really profound here, that life is this series of level-ups, these transitions from one reality to another. We go from the limited world of the womb to our current reality, our matrix. And what if death isn't the end? What if it's just another birth, a transition into an even bigger, more complete reality, the next level of consciousness? So what would that next level even be like? Well, imagine having what we would call superpowers, but they're just normal senses there. Imagine seeing the full electromagnetic spectrum, looking at someone and seeing their skeleton through their skin with your own X-ray vision. or hearing and actually understanding what birds and elephants are saying to each other. Maybe you could even perceive the thoughts of others or see the health of their organs. These things seem like magic to us now, but maybe they're just a normal part of a less limited reality.
And this is where it all comes together. This is the most empowering part of this entire idea. Because if reality is a construct, if we're living inside some kind of game, then we are not just pawns being moved around the board. We are the players. And that changes everything. So how do you play this game? How do you actually use this knowledge? Well, the source breaks it down into two simple but totally game-changing steps. First, start seeing the world as a playground. If it's all a construct anyway, why take its rules so seriously? It's a place to experiment, to experience, to play. And second, create with your imagination. Because if the outside world is just a reflection of what's going on inside, then your inner state, your thoughts, your feelings, your focus is the controller. It's the engine of creation. And this right here, this is the ultimate insight. It completely reframes how you win the game. This way of thinking suggests that things like wealth, happiness, love, they aren't just things you go out and find in the world, they're frequencies. They're states of being you tune into. As the source says, when our frequency is adjusted to abundance, happiness, and fulfillment, wealth comes naturally. The big idea here is that you don't chase success, you attract it by becoming it first. So, that's the big idea we wanted to leave you with today. The world you see isn't the world as it is, but the world your mind has built for you. And knowing this doesn't make life less real. It gives you the keys to create your own reality. So, I'll ask you one last time. If life is a game, how are you going to choose to play?